Good morning, beloveds. It is Monday. And there was something else I was going to say, and I don't remember what it was, so just, I don't know. I was thinking about something, and it has popped right out of my head. So obviously it was not important. And if it was, it will pop back in. But it is August 23rd. Today's title is I Am Spirit. And the quote today is actually from the Quran. I have breathed into many of my spirit. The image and likeness of God must be a perfect expression of spirit, and I am that expression now. Therefore, I use my body with wisdom, but I am not limited by it. It is effect, not cause. God's true knowledge of me is that I am a spiritual being using body as vehicle. The spirit within me is now in full control of my body. It renews it, repairs it, and glorifies it. My body responds to these spiritual ministrations and is radiant with health and vitality. The spirit within me inspires my mind with perfect ideas and true wisdom. Its action in my subconscious is one of cleansing and healing. It breathes through my consciousness the breath of life, and all fixed opinions are dissolved and dissipated. My old ideas and patterns cannot control or limit spirit. God in the midst of me is the only real power, presence, and reality. I let the indwelling, perfect pattern of me be the truth of my mind today. Without using introspection or self-analysis, I merely know that God's spiritual concept of me is the activating center of my mind. All my mental and emotional processes now accept the orders and decisions of the Spirit, and I have perfect mental health. I am a perfect spiritual being, living in a perfect spiritual body and operating in a perfect spiritual universe. This is not merely an ideal, it is the truth. I am free from all false conditioning of matters. I am free from all false conditioning of matter or of mind. I am spirit, and God alone is cause in my experience. I accept this perfect concept of myself, and my whole being gives evidence of it. All right. So I think yesterday, and I say it frequently, what I want to do is go back to God's idea of who I am. And I want you to go back to God's idea of who you are. And then the other thing is it in here, it kept talking about perfect. If you go back and look perfect up in the dictionary, perfect means whole. It does not mean flawless, okay? So as one of my classmates said, we can have a juicy, messy life and it still be perfect. So please do not get caught up in the word perfect meaning flawless, because that's not what it means. It means whole. It means all inclusive. It means everything is a part of. So the messy parts, the juicy parts, the crazy parts, that's all part of a perfect life. Too frequently we get caught up on that word and think flawless, and everybody looks at their life and goes, well, my life is a hot mess. And that's okay. That is okay. That is part of a perfect life. But God's idea of you, and God's idea of you is perfect. God's idea of you is whole, all inclusive. It means all of the messy parts are part of it too. It means the good parts and the amazing parts, and as Reverend Lane says, the juicy parts. That's all part of God's idea of you. All right? It is not cold. It is not sterile. It is not, it's not any of that. So bear that in mind. The other thing is Ernest and Raymond start out talking about the body as a vehicle. And I think, and I heard Reverend Jesse talk about this one time, where we talk about immortality, and when we're young, immortality has a different meaning than when we hit a certain age. Now, I'm kind of in the middle of that. I'm closing in on 50. I think I'm actually 48, but it's close enough. It's close enough, right? It's a midpoint. One of my relatives, my great grandmother on my father's side, made it to 99. So, 50 is a midpoint. Or it could be. The body is fantastic, and it is an amazing vehicle for us to get around and do in this lifetime. It is for us to do and experience and just really, use it. We bear the responsibility of taking care of it, but the body is not who we are. The body is not who we are. And at some point, the body is going to no longer be the best vehicle for us. At which point, we will trade it in for a new one. Okay? So that's where you can see, and I think you can see it in Ernest's writings and you can see it in Emma's writings, where they start early in their careers, they're talking about immortality and this, that, and the other, and they're real hard line on it. And then later on, they take a softer approach to it, to remembering that this is not who we are. It is how we get around. And they say it in here. It's an effect. It's not a cause. So that's one of the things that when we're doing this kind of work, we have to remember. When we talk about immortality, we're not talking about the material body. It's what the material body shelters, cares for, carries around. It's that spirit, that soul, the essence of who we are. But while it is sheltering who we are can take care of and should take care of the body. And so that's what the first part of this is. So our title is I Am Spirit. And the quote from the Quran is, I have breathed into many my spirit. So the Quran is recognizing that God breathed life into each and every one of us. That's how we came to be. The spirit that we use, that we carry around, that is the essence of us, is part of something so much bigger than we are. And it was breathed into us, and it was breathed into us on purpose. None of us are an accident. We're here for a reason. We're here for a purpose. Now, the good news is it's not this divine, fated path that there's nothing else we can do. We're here to have experiences. We're here to learn. We're here to have experiences that the Spirit couldn't have without us. So, the image and likeness of God must be a perfect expression of Spirit, a whole expression of Spirit. And I am that expression now. You are that expression now. Therefore, I use my body with wisdom, but I am not limited by it. So I use my body with wisdom. I don't do crazy things with it. Well, terribly crazy things with it. But I'm not limited by my body because I understand it is a vehicle and that there are things that it cannot do, but I still can. And at some point that there will come a time when this body is no longer the best vehicle for me. So I'm not limited by my body. It is an effect, not cause. God's true knowledge of me is that I am a spiritual being using body as vehicle. God's true knowledge of me, of you, is that you are a spiritual being. That this is a vehicle. It is a vehicle. And as with regular car maintenance, it'll last longer if we take care of it. So do regular body maintenance. Eat good food. Move your body, rest your body, take your body to the doctor. Regular vehicle maintenance. The spirit within me is now in full control of my body. That's true. It renews it, repairs it, and glorifies it. It renews it, repairs it. And there are multiple avenues to do that. Prayer is one. Rest is one. Exercise is one. Taking it to the doctor is one. Taking the appropriate medications is one. Eating good food. So there's lots of ways. All of them are valid. All of them are useful. Make use of all of them to take care of your vehicle. My body responds to these spiritual ministrations and is radiant with health and vitality. The spirit within me inspires my mind with perfect ideas and true wisdom. Its actions in my subconscious is one of cleansing and healing. The spirit, if we let it, will help to cleanse and heal our subconscious mind. You know, that back closet where we store all that stuff. And then we wonder why it's always bursting into steams. Because we need to clean it out occasionally. It breathes through my consciousness, the breath of life, and all fixed opinions are dissolved and dissipated. That's what I mean. We gotta clean out those closets. Clean out those little pockets in our mind. Occasionally we'll run up against an opinion and go, wait, that's not who I am. Why is that still in there? That's what spiritual work is for. To find those things and let them go. To dissolve and dissipate them. My old ideas and patterns cannot control or limit spirit. God, in the midst of me, is the only real power, presence, and reality. I let the indwelling, perfect pattern of me be the truth of my mind today. The indwelling, perfect pattern, God's idea of me. That is who I am letting run the body. God's idea of me. All right? So go back and look at the blueprint and go, oh, okay. You know, this could work a little bit better if I do it this way. You have access to that blueprint. It's yours. God gave it to you. All you got to do is ask. Without using introspection or self-analysis, I merely know that God's spiritual concept of me is the activating center of my mind. Okay, so without using introspection or self-analysis, we are, the practitioners are spiritual counselors. We are not therapists. We will listen. We absolutely will listen, but we don't need to do that introspection. We don't need to do that self-analysis. We don't need you to do it. We just need you to tell us what it is that you want. So when you are doing treatment work, you don't have to do the introspection. You don't have to do the self-analysis. You tell spirit what you want. Now, by no means am I saying that introspection and self-analysis are not good for you. They are absolutely good for you. I have had several very good therapists over the years. And occasionally, need them now. So there's a time and a place for introspection and self-analysis. But there's also a time and a place to get clear with spirit and know who you are. All right? So you don't have to do it to do treatment. You don't have to do it to do treatment. All right? You are absolutely welcome and encouraged to do it in the right places and time. But for the purposes of treatment, for the purposes of knowing who you are in God, nope. It is not necessary. It is to merely know God's spiritual concept of you and the activating that center in your mind. All my mental and emotional processes now accept the orders and the decisions of the Spirit, and I have perfect mental health. All right? So I have perfect mental health. There are several ways to get that, and some of us need more than one way. Some of us can go right to God and say, this is who I am. And some of us can go right to God and say, this is who I am. But I'm also going to use these other things. Be that if I need medication, because my hormones and my chemical, makeup is not correct. Then I will use medications to help with that. And if I need introspection and self-analysis, especially if I keep coming up against the same wall, that's where that can be helpful. So please know that there are multiple ways to get to good mental health, and use any and all of them that you need, including doctors and therapists and medication and treatment and spiritual work and spiritual practice. Use them all. Use them all. Use the ones that make sense to you. If you don't need them all, you don't need them all. And if you need one of them for a little bit, or, a couple of them for a little bit, use them. I have. It works. I am a perfect spiritual being, living in a perfect spiritual body and operating in a perfect spiritual universe. This is not merely an ideal. It is the truth. All right? So you are a perfect spiritual being, living in a perfect spiritual body, operating in a perfect spiritual universe. Now, all of those perfects might make your ears ring. Remember, you are a whole spiritual being, living in a whole spiritual body, operating in a whole spiritual universe. This is not merely an ideal. It is the truth. I am free from all false conditioning of matter or of mind, meaning that, and he uses mind with a little m there, so he's not talking about the divine mind. He is talking about your mind. False conditioning of material matter, false conditioning of the mind, which means that society and religion and culture, all the things that they have told them that don't ring right truth for you, you are free of. And all of the little things that the material world wants to tell you, you can let it all go. Because God knows who you are. So go ask God. I am spirit, and God alone is cause and my experience. I accept this perfect concept of myself, and my whole being gives evidence to it. All right. Are you ready to accept the whole concept of yourself? Are you ready to accept who God knows you to be? Because that's the mission today. That is the mission today. Oh. Our mission today is to accept this perfect concept of ourselves, this reality of us as a spiritual being, to use our body and our mind with wisdom. With wisdom. And where does that wisdom come from? God. I point up there, I point in here. Where's the best place to meet God? Go within. Because that spirit, that soul that you carry around, that's God. That is absolutely God. All right, beloveds. So that's your mission today. That is your mission today. And as always, I do encourage you to do something loving for yourself, something kind for yourself, something compassionate for yourself. Whatever that looks like. Whatever that looks like for you today. Because you are a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. You deserve your own loving, kind compassion. You absolutely do. All right. I have engaged my mind and my body. I have gotten my face full of sun. I have drunk a whole lot of water, and I will drink a whole lot more, because I can already tell that my throat needs it. And I would ask you if here's what I was thinking about when I walked in here, and then probably forgot. Hurricane Henri has made landfall. It is moving very slowly, which means it's dropping a whole lot of rain up in the northeast. So if you could know for them that it moves on and gets out of there so that they can proceed with the tasks of whatever cleanup that they need to do. And to know that everybody is safe and that the resources that they need are coming to them now. We live in hurricane country. We know. They don't hit hurricanes don't hit up there very often, not like this, and not where it made landfall. So have a kind thought for the people up in the Northeast, which are dealing with something that we here in the South know what to do with. Yeah. And I know that there's a couple more systems out there, so we're just gonna be on the high watch, for the people affected by them. All right, beloveds. Like I said, engage your mind and your body, get your face full of sun, do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us. It's about us being willing to open up and to look around, to see the good, to praise the good, as Emma says, because then we'll see more of it. And then we will recognize who we are, what we are. We will see God's idea of us. And more importantly, we can see God's idea of the world around us. It's like once we kind of get an idea of who God knows us to be, then we can kind of look around and use those eyes, those God eyes, those spirit eyes, and see the world around us from God's eyes. And it's a little bit different of a place than you've been told. So, actually, it may be wildly different than you've been told. Okay, beloveds. I'm going to move into the process of my day. It's Monday. There is a book study today. If you're interested in that one's hosted by a practitioner group in Tennessee. So, email info@creativelife.org for that. Reverend David should be on Facebook Live around 5 p.m. I'll be back with you at Facebook Live at 9 a.m. And I know I heavily promote the YouTube channels, but I'm proud of them because I do a lot of work on them. The Creative Life Spiritual Center YouTube channel, that's how you find it. And mine is the Running Rev Ryan YouTube channel. That's how you find it. All right, beloveds. Do what you need to do to make it a wonderful day, a fantastic day, an amazing day. A good day. And honestly, if that is too much pressure, then simply have a day. But know that you are loved. All right, beloveds. I will catch you later. Until next time.